Welcome to our open book. Very good to be with you tonight. Let us know if the audio and video is all right. Still kept away from our usual spot. Maybe. Hi there. I see Patty Sullivan, Catherine Capel, Andrea, Carla Atkinson, Dorothy Joy, Penny Stump, Mark Gladstone, Rhonda Scott, Dan Lynch, John Mahoney, Ralph Rice. Very good to be with all of you. Diane Wood, SR. Hi there. Diana Lynch, Rick Dabrowski. Good to be with all of you. Thank you. So, yeah, hi, Sean. So, I was walking past a bookstore. On the sale table, I freely admit Oscar Wilde's Wit and Wisdom, Book of Quotations. Hi there, Ann Wheeler. Hello, Andrea Elizabeth Mitchell, and everybody else in downtown Toronto. No tariffs to be with us on Open Book. Hi there, I am Amy. We are glad to see I am Amy. Yes, I think so. So, you were in Spring Green seeing plays. That must have been wonderful. Oh, so Oscar Wilde on art, literature, and criticism. He says, it is only an auctioneer who can equally and impartially admire all schools of art. And he goes on to say, all art is immoral for emotion. For the sake of emotion is the aim of art. And emotion for the sake of action is the aim of life. And from the picture of Dorian Gray, he writes, we live in an age where men treat art as if it were meant to be a form of autobiography. Got to give that a thought. Hi there, Paul Izzo, Mark Kemple. Also from Dorian Gray, we can forgive a man for making a useful thing as long as he does not admire it. The only excuse for making a useless thing is that one admires it intensely. All art is quite useless. Why would he say that? I know why he's saying it. If you're Oscar Wilde, you can afford to say that, can't you? The true artist is a man who believes absolutely in himself, because he is absolutely himself. In The Decay of Line, he writes, most of our modern portrait painters are doomed to oblivion. They never paint what they see, they paint what the public sees. And the public never sees anything. I'm not sure I agree with all of these, but they're worth hearing, aren't they? It's Oscar Wilde. Also from Dorian Gray, the Academy is too large and too vulgar. Whenever I've gone there have been either so many people that I've not been able to see the pictures, which was dreadful, or so many pictures that I have not been able to see the people, which was worse. Which was worse. Paradox, though it may seem, and paradoxes are always dangerous things, it is nonetheless true that life imitates art far more than art imitates life. I've got to think about that. You might be onto something. Proper school to learn art is not life, but art. Oscar Wilde writes, art is our spirited protest, our gallant attempt to teach nature her proper place. I do like that one. Critic as artist, he writes, bad artists always admire each other's work. We call it being large-minded and free from prejudice. A truly great artist cannot conceive of life being shown or beauty fashioned under any conditions other than those he has selected. Also, Dorian Gray, he writes, to reveal and conceal the artist is art's aim. To reveal and conceal the artist is art saying? No great artist ever sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist. Boy, that's true. There are two ways of disliking art. One is to dislike it. The other is to like it rationally. Boy, I like that one. Whistler left America in order to remain an artist, and Mr. Sargent to become one. John Singer Sargent. It is the spectator and not life that art really mirrors. Wow. That's very good. Nice to see you, Julie Burge. The artist is the creator of beautiful things. I like that. Just from the importance of being earnest. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read on the train. Oh, that's good. The only portraits in which one believes are portraits where there is very little of the sitter and a very great deal of the artist. The letter to art students, Oscar Wilde writes, popularity is the crown of laurel which the world puts on bad art. Whatever is popular is wrong. Well, I don't believe that. But he said it. The poetic school of artists who imagine that the true way of idealizing a sitter is to paint someone else. Newspaper article Oscar Wilde wrote, only mediocrities progress. An artist revolves in a cycle of masterpieces, the first of which is no less perfect than the last. That's a very nice thought. The curious mixture of bad painting and good intentions that always entitles a man to be called a representative British artist. I imagine this is about Emile Zola. Mr. Zola is determined to show that if he has not got genius, he can at least be dull. Hi there, John James. Good to see you again. Only the great masters of style ever succeed in being obscure. Boy, is that true. Something to fathom here from the picture of Dorian Gray. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book. Books are well written or badly written. That is all. And this on Henry James, who was obviously a great novelist and yes, great artist. But Oscar Wilde wrote, Mr. Henry James writes fiction as if it were a painful duty. Now a reflection on two of the real greats, Victor Hugo and William Shakespeare. Oscar Wilde wrote, between them, Hugo and Shakespeare have exhausted every subject. Originality is no longer possible, even in sin. So there are no real emotions left, only extraordinary adjectives. Boy, what praise. My gosh, for Victor Hugo and William Shakespeare. Again from Dorian Gray, the books that the world calls immoral books are books that show the world its own shame. Than this, I sometimes feel this way. I hate vulgar realism in literature. The man who could call a spade should be compelled to use one. It's the only thing he's fit for. He says if something can be read without any trouble, it was probably written without any trouble also. And the soul of man, he writes, we've been able to have fine poetry in England because the public do not read it and consequently do not influence it. Well, that's a little. The two ways of disliking poetry. One is to dislike it, the other is to read Pope. Alexander Pope, not our beloved Holy Father from Chicago. Uh, in a review in the Pall Mall Gazette, he wrote, they lead us through a barren desert of verbiage to a mirage they call life. However, one should not be too severe on English novels. They are the only relaxation of the intellectually unemployed. And of course, a famous remark he tossed off on reading Charles Dickens. One must have a heart of stone to read The Death of Little Nell without laughing. Oh, that's terrible. Well, he was a critic too, you know. A poet can survive anything but a misprint. He writes, literature always anticipates life. It does not copy it, but molds it to its purpose. The 19th century, as we know, is largely an invention of Balzac. And the importance of being earnest. If one plays good music, people don't listen, and if one plays bad music, people don't talk. And you know, that old, those who can do, those who can't teach or become a critic. Oscar Wilde writes, it is exactly because a man cannot do a thing that he is the proper judge of it. And this last one. I never reply to my critics. I have far too much time, but I think someday I will give a general answer in the form of a lecture, which I shall call Straight Talks to Old Men. Hi there, Dr. Casada. Good to see you with us. And George and Veronica Brzezowski. Caught up with the wind. So, Dove Thrift Edition, Oscar Wilde's Wit and Wisdom. There's lots others in here. So, a little palate cleanser tonight. This week we have Kurt Anderson coming up on Tuesday. I don't have his novel in front of me, but he's written quite a novel on the prospect of a civil war, which you can imagine. Then Josh Silver, Fruit Fly on Wednesday. So we will look forward to all of that. So very good to be with you tonight on our open book. Nice to be with everybody. Nice to hear from Oscar Wilde. Really good to be with you all. Yeah. And I think we're going to have to do it from here, so there might be some technical stuff, but we'll figure that out. All right. Thanks very much for being with us, and we'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.